Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dante Elephante podcast. It is episode 65 with J.W. Francis. This is a conversation we had a few weeks ago. If you follow J.W. Francis, you know that he is right in the middle of hiking through the Appalachian Trail, the Appalachian Mountains, whatever it is. He went from Georgia and he's making his way to New York. And follow him on Instagram right now. If you're listening to this, go find him on Instagram. He has some internet service and he's been posting. But there's a moment in this podcast where we thought, he might not have internet service. So I'm excited. I hope you guys like this episode. I had a great time talking to J.W. Francis and talked about his music and shout out to my buddy Dustin. Dustin's a DJ. He works we've worked together on a few different gigs and you know, just a big lover of music. He showed me J.W. Francis and I really like his songs. They're so good. And he has a new record. He talks about his new record. He talks about his last record. The guy's been pumping out a lot of content, it feels like. And that's the people I love. Those are the people I gravitate to. The people who just put stuff out and the people who didn't care about what it, it's not the right time. Maybe I'm just going to hold on to this. It's just, I don't have energy to. It's like, find the energy. If you love this shit and you're about that life, be about it, man. I don't know. Man, I look chaotic today. If you can't tell, because you're just listening, then thank you for listening. Definitely go check out the YouTube. I don't know, I feel like we're getting close, man. I feel like I have a few more of these socially, not even socially distanced, straight up Zoom casts of Zoom podcasts. I've done so many of them for the last year that I think it's time to bring it back to in person and doing these face to face again, and that will be the happiest day. I'm working on it now. I'm working on it now. I'm talking to people, trying to find the right space. Maybe a space where I can do them in Santa Barbara and a space I can do them in LA. And maybe we'll do them at the old place. I don't know. I gotta talk to Eric still, and hopefully we can get that going again, man. Because that would be awesome. Because we made it happen. The world is opening up. The United States, at least in California where I am, like, things are really going. Like, I've DJ'd every weekend so far in May, and it's been awesome. It's been crazy. It's been, a lot of lessons. It's just understanding that this is the transition. And people, I tweeted this last night because it was kind of bothering me, but I really missed the part of the pandemic where we gave each other space and we respected people's boundaries and their personal space. Like, I really wished and hoped and dreamed that we would come back to the new normal with a sense of, like, let me give you space. But as soon as things started opening up and, the CDC said you don't have to wear your mask out in public if you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated 2 weeks after your second shot. That's the big if. Doesn't mean you can just walk around like nothing ever happened, but like that's kind of how the vibe has kind of been. And I haven't seen anyone wear a mask. It's like, and people are just walking up to the DJ booth and talking to me. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Do not talk to me at the DJ booth. I am not taking requests. I no longer take requests. Just sit back and enjoy the ride and let me take you there. I know what you want. I had a request for Tiesto. I don't do that. That is not my thing. That is not what I do. Please don't come up to me and ask for that kind of stuff. Or, they want hip hop and I don't have a lot of hip hop, especially new hip hop. I have some hip hop. I have, whatever. But I think people have this weird thing that I could just play, or I could just plug an aux cord into, like, what the fuck? Why would I ever do that? Someone told me that last night, like, can I just plug my phone in? Like, why the fuck would I ever let you do that? Even if I had the capabilities, which I don't have the capabilities to do that. My setup is just 2 turntables, a mixer, and another little mixer, and goes into some powered speakers now because I got new PA speakers. But even if I had a little aux cord, why the hell would I? Why? What? It makes no sense. But yeah, I think just respecting people's space, understanding that this is still the transition. We are not done. There's still some work to do. Shout out to everyone who's getting vaccinated. That is amazing. Let's just keep it going. More and more people, the more and more people I talk to who have been vaccinated, it's just like, that's awesome. We can get back to our normal lives. But that being said, let's not go back to some of those nasty habits we had. I was at the grocery store the other day, and I was, getting my groceries. And before, everyone used to be 6 feet apart, really far away, one at a time, really respectful. And now that's not the case anymore. I was putting my stuff down. I had someone hovering right behind me. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe this is too complainy or whatever. But like I said, we are still transitioning. We are still working towards reopening. Like, do I believe California will be one of the first states really rocking? Yeah, I think so. Like, shows are being announced. Like I said in the last podcast, like Built to Spill's coming to Santa Barbara. That's going to be crazy. That might be the first show I attend. I'm getting emails now about shows. Do I take shows? Where should I play? Leave a comment in the comment section. Where should I play? Should I come to your hometown? Like, I don't know. Should I do a 2-week tour? I'm kind of feeling baby steps. I'm kind of feeling like maybe I do an LA show. Maybe I do a San Francisco show. Let's dip our feet into the waters. Maybe I do San Diego. Maybe I do Ventura. We do a big show in Santa Barbara once it feels like we're back. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it a lot. And I don't know what the right answer is. I want to be safe. I want to be smart. And it's one thing to announce a bunch of shows, right? I can announce a whole tour. Here's a 2-week tour. But will people show up? That's the second half of it. You can announce whatever the fuck you want to announce, but if people don't feel comfortable coming to shows yet, or if people are nervous or haven't been vaccinated, enough people haven't been vaccinated yet by the time October kind of rolls around, then what are we doing? I'm just going to show up to a venue that's half full or less than half full, a quarter, I don't know. And then I'm pissing off venue people, I'm pissing off promoters, I'm pissing off booking. I don't want to piss anyone off. So I want to be able to do this in a way that's correct, with some lead time where we could promote the shows. I don't know. It's just a lot of thinking and a lot of what's next. I'm scared, but I'm also excited. I'm very excited. Are you ready for the opening? Are you mentally prepared to be back into this world? Yeah, so either way, I didn't do one of these last week. It was my birthday. I am 31 now. I've had a lot of thoughts about turning 31 that, like, I just feel like getting older is such a privilege. There's just so many people who didn't make it to 31. I know people personally who didn't make it to 31 in my life. And so it's sweet. I used to hate my birthday. I hated my birthday. I hated the feeling of getting older. Even when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm 15 years old. What the fuck? I'm getting old. Like, that's how young I was, and that's how dumb I was when I was a kid. Being like, wow, I can't believe I'm 15. Can't believe I'm 16. Oh shit, I'm 17. Can't believe I'm 18. Like, how many years can you do that? I did that for a while until pretty recently. As soon as you hit like 30, all those anxieties kind of go away. At least for me, and I think a lot of other people will relate to that. But as soon as I hit 30, I feel like, oh, that's it. Like, and there's like so much hype around the 27 club. At least if you're a musician, like, you're like, oh my God, am I gonna die at 27? Like Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix. Like, no, you didn't. You survived, and now you're in your 30s, and not everyone is like that. And it is a weird coincidence. Don't get me wrong, it's a very strange coincidence, but that they all died at 27, but not everyone. You are not a rock star, dude. You are a guy who writes songs because you love it. You do a podcast, you talk to people, and that's it. You're not Kurt Cobain. And that's, okay. I don't want to be Kurt Cobain. I just want to be me, I guess. But that's, once again, these are the things that pop up once you hit these certain ages. Like, Kurt Cobain didn't make the 31. I would love to have heard what Kurt did in his 30s. If John Lennon died or Paul McCartney died in their 20s, we would have missed out on a bunch of great records. Like, there's still so much music to write, even into your 30s, that I think this whole world of like young people, young musicians, like, we want 20-year-old musicians, and then I don't know. It's just, I don't think that's sustainable. Like, well, I guess it's sustainable. There's always new young people starting a band, but and want to be songwriters, but I don't know. I think there's more to say as you get older, and there's more things to talk about. And sometimes I find my best interviews are the older guests I bring on, and because they just have so much more life to talk about and so many more experiences. And I think that's what, like in the comedian world, as you get older, you kind of become a better comedian. Like the comedy scene isn't built around 20-year-old kids. It's built around these 40 and 50-year-old, 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women who have experiences and can talk about life. And I don't think that's the same in music. It's just like 18, 19, 20, 21. It's like, we need you young. The music industry is so based on youth. And I don't know, man. That can't go on for much longer. And it won't be. It won't, because the industry is so much larger and more diverse than ever before, and you can have a band like someone like Kurt Vile isn't necessarily young in the eyes of an industry, but he's so good and he's so talented that doesn't fucking matter. So I think that will trump all. If I just keep writing songs I like and keep working hard and promoting my band and playing live shows, then it doesn't matter if I am 31, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40 years old, whatever. As long as I'm having fun and I'm enjoying the process, then that's good for me. I'm not looking for anything else other than just to be happy at this point. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot to talk about. We got merch. Brand new merch. We are restocking the Call Me on the Phone t-shirt. Thank you to everyone who bought one already. We are restocking, so go to hellomerch.com and get yourself a Dante Elephante shirt. We got the Never Trust a Junkie hoodie and the geometric shape. It was like the first shirt we did, designed by my buddy Aaron Lowell. Very cool. Personal boundaries. We talked about touring, potential touring gigs coming up. I'm DJing this weekend at the Saloon. If you live in Southern California in the 805, come on down. Come on down to the Saloon in Ventura, downtown, Main Street, right next to Busy Bee Cafe. You know what to do. Wear a mask. I guess, yeah, wear a mask. I guess if you're vaccinated, you don't have to, I guess. I don't know. But you know what? It's all good. Come on through. No requests. Do not talk to me. And then, yeah, that's it. JW Francis is on the podcast today. I hope you guys enjoy it. His new album is awesome. And then he has an even newer album coming, which we talk about hopefully soon. I think that comes out in September, he said, on Sunday's Best. Great label. And then, yeah, hopefully in a few weeks, I'll be face to face with people. But if not, that's okay. We'll see. We're going to work it out. Okay, episode 65. JW Francis, thank you for listening to my rant. This is my TED Talk, my podcast. Thank you. Bye. Dude, JW Francis, how are you doing? Welcome to the podcast. We are recording. Let's go.
All right.
I just woke up. I'm feeling weird. You know? You know how it feels when you just wake up?
Oh, yeah. Might go to the other side of the table. It'll look better. Yeah, I also just woke up, got my cafe.
Nice. Where are you right now?
I'm in Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess we should just get right into it, man. Because like when I asked the internet for questions,
like, what's going on?
Yeah, when I asked the internet for questions, it was all the same thing.
Yeah.
It was all asking me about your trip to the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
So are you in Oklahoma? I don't know where the Appalachian Mountains are. How did we get here? What are you doing? Tell us about it, man. I want to hear about it.
Well, I heard the call inside of my heart. Yes. It was telling me to go quit my job, to feel human again, to feel the sweat on my neck. Oh, are you there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
You got all frozen.
Oh.
Am I frozen? Are we all frozen?
Oh, you are freezing.
Is this even working?
Oh, no, you're frozen.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, okay. Okay, now we're back. Okay.
All right. It said my internet connection is unstable. So let's see if there's So yeah, if that happens again, maybe is it better if I keep my camera on? Are you filming like
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we'll just pray and hope. But anyway, so basically, yeah, it's been on my bucket list forever, and I got signed to a record label, and so I figured, I was like, well, this means I don't have to do so much work all the time because it's so much work to be an artist, as you know.
Right.
So I generally skeptic of labels as a DIY guy,
Yeah.
So I was like, let's see how they do when I run away into the forest and they handle releasing all the music.
Right.
So I finished an album, I handed it over, and I said, I'm going into the forest, and that's what I'm doing. And I love walking. I love writing. I love having breakfast in a new place every day. So these are all things that happen on the Appalachian Trail. And so I'm just going to go do it. I leave on the 28th. So about a week from now.
Wow.
I wanted to get I'm starting pretty late just because I wanted to get my vaccinations and spend some time with my grandma and just a couple logistical things. So, I don't know if I'm going to finish the whole thing, and I don't really care. I'm just going to be walking for 4 months, see where I end up. Hopefully I make it back to New York because I got an Airbnb rented there for September 1st. So we'll see.
So that's when you think you'll be back September 4th, 1st.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I'll just be passing through because I've got that's when the album actually fully comes out. And then virus willing, got a couple shows lined up, and then we'll see. Then it's a big question mark. I mean, it's either the album does well and I can live my ideal life of a touring musician, or realistically the album does okay and we continue to build.
Yeah, we do another record. Yeah.
It's always, and just hit with another one and another one and another one.
Wait, so this Appalachian where is it? So is it like it's you're just following an already existing trail, right? So you know where to go.
That's
already?
Right.
Okay, cool. And it starts
2000.
Okay, it's 2,000 miles.
Starts in Georgia. Yeah, 2,200 miles. It starts in northern Georgia, Springer Mountain, Georgia, and you go Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire to Maine. So it goes from Georgia to Maine.
That's going to be insane. Those are all like my favorite states. Like the more and more I tour, I'm like, oh, dude, those are like my favorite states now.
Yeah. So that's nice. I'm kind of like hopefully preparing myself for tour life of like sleeping on the ground, being tired all the time, just finding new ways to love life.
Right, totally. And like you said, eating breakfast in a different place every day. There was definitely a point on one of my tours in 2019, because that was the last time we were able to do shit like that, where I was like, I think I'm done eating breakfast. I think I'm tired of like breakfast food. I just got so tired of eating at diners every morning. Like I was like, I think I'm done, dude. I think I just eat lunch from now on. I don't know. Do you ever feel just tired of the road or doing this kind of stuff? I guess it's been long enough. You're excited to get back out there, but did you ever get burned out?
I did not, man. I mean, I've also got I got a lot of stamina.
Right.
I can go pretty hard for a long time, but no, my plan is to tour. I would love to do just like some Bob Dylan stuff and like go on a never ending tour until I'm like 38 or so. I think that's like when I'll want to like make a farm or something,
How old are you now?
I'm 27. So that's also why people are kind of like, ooh, are you sure you want to go on the Appalachian Trail this year? Like you've got all this unreleased music.
Yeah.
Like you're going music full time. Like you're 27. You see like the dots connecting.
Right. But if there is a time, I feel like you know, it's like the same thing. Like with the gym, I've been going back to the gym, and people are like, "Oh my God, the virus is there." I was like, "There's nobody there. No one goes because everyone's afraid. The gyms are empty, so you can go to the gym and be the only person in there." And I imagine the Appalachian Trail, there may be like very few people on the trail. You may not see a lot of people.
Very few people.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you might be safer on the trail.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really think I'm going to die from the coronavirus. It's just all the bears.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's brutal. And you're gonna camp every night, I guess. Then camping.
Yeah, that's right. Sleeping on the ground outside. Yep, I know.
I'm not big on
camping.
Can't
wait to be weary.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's gonna be a crazy feeling when you finally get to. You're like, I think I'm in New York. Is that New York?
I know.
And then you look over to the right. You're like, oh yeah, the Big Apple.
I know. I'm gonna emerge from the forest and be like, oh my God, what's this?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, you already have this look that you've been in the Appalachian Trail for a few years
did we
now.
lose you again?
Oh no, you hear me?
There you are. Hey, there you are.
You already have I was saying you already have this look like you've been on the Appalachian Trail already. Like, are you gonna shave? Are you gonna go fully clean and see how far you grow, or are you gonna leave it where you're at now and just let it go even wilder?
I'm gonna trim it up, but it's not really gonna be that dramatic. I am gonna dye my hair pink and do something and like fix the mullet, because I gave myself this haircut on a live stream 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna get someone to
professionally
do it right.
Yeah,
exactly. But no, I'm not gonna shave the beard until album 4.
Every album should have a look. Like I
exactly.
You know, it's like that's how you can tell each David Bowie record. Like he has a different look.
That's exactly. I stand by that. Stand by that, because you're so different. I don't know. I'm so different every album. Like it just different place, different living situation, just different. Everything's different, so you gotta reflect it somehow.
Right.
Color of your hair or whatever.
Yeah, something's got to be different, man. So you released a record in 2020. I've been listening to that a bunch this past week, and it sounds like you have another record already. Like the record you released in 2020, did you record that in 2019, or when did you record that one?
Yeah, that one was like, I had released an EP in 2018, and I had done that totally self-release, whatever, and I just kind of had it in my mind, which might be wrong. Mm-hmm. Some people do this, some people don't, but I kind of had it in my mind, like, okay, this is my first album. I need to be on a label for this first album. It was just kind of like a little mental like roadblock or something. I was like, I can't just release this album. That would not be doing it justice. I need to find people to do that. And that took a long time. So I was just out there playing shows for like a year and a half until somebody noticed and was, some people, there'd be like little labels hit me up and be like, hey, do you want us to make 200 copies of this and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't, I was like, well, I would love to live off this.
Right.
Totally. So it wasn't until this British indie label, Sunday Best, reached out, and it just worked out. But that was in January 2020. And then, it took until November 2020 to finally get it out there in the world and get it to the people. So now I've got this second album that I'm like, all right, now I'm with my friend, producer, Sahil Ansari, who we make all the records together. He's like, man, we got to get better at making the record than coming out with it, because it always seems like there's a year or so in between.
That always happens. That always happens.
Yeah,
it's always like
and
that.
It's just and I'm so much more patient than when I started, because that first EP, I finished it, and then a month later I put it out, and like that felt amazing. And then I was really frustrated for that first album, because I was like, I'm going to not feel this way anymore pretty soon. But, you just got to be patient. Everybody's got their jobs to
totally
do and stuff.
How do you feel about the actual release date? Like the actual day of the release. Like for me, people are like, I remember when I released my last record, my girlfriend's like, "Aren't you excited? It's out now." I'm like, I feel an emptiness inside once the record's already
Oh,
out.
totally. Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially coming out with it during the pandemic. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, it's like, no matter what, it always, even pre-pandemic, I was not happy with that feeling because, there's just so much work. There's just so much you throw into it. And then, nowadays it's like it goes live on Spotify and it's like, woohoo, now time to like email it to a billion people,
Right.
like more work to do. It's not like,
Right.
at least before the pandemic, we could have like, release shows and there was some sort of catharsis or whatever. But even that didn't really feel, I want like, like 300 people in a room and we all watch
Right.
like the vinyl press, like press it into wax or stuff, something
Totally.
where it's like, some kind of,
Something that feels,
I
I don't
wouldn't like
know. It just feels real. It just feels like
something that
grand.
says like, you did
You
it.
did,
Like,
yeah. Maybe I just need a big sign that says "You did it. We
something
did
like
it."
that. I feel like, yeah, movies, you get like premieres and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, you don't really get to, that's the other thing is you don't really get to premiere the album. I mean,
yeah,
you do, I guess like the Fader could premiere your album, whatever, but
yeah.
that's
Something like that.
all digital. I want something
Yeah,
real.
I'm sure back in the day they had that. I'm sure you would release a record and then you'd pick up your local weekly in whatever town you're in, and there's a review and it feels
Right.
good and you're like, wow, that's so cool. And I'll save this magazine or I'll save this paper, but like. It's not like that now. It's
I
not
know.
even the way it was with blogs. I feel like the time of the blog is come and gone now. Now it's just like,
Oh
yeah, it's on
yeah.
Spotify now and it's getting some plays and you see a number and you're either happy or sad by the number.
I know, man. And even like even stuff that used to matter doesn't even matter anymore. Like I see some of my friends like will get written up on Pitchfork or something,
Yeah,
and like it'll be like a 7 or something
which
or
is
something that's
great.
like, I mean, it's like good. And then you
Yeah,
go look at their Spotify numbers and like nothing changes. And you're like,
yeah,
what? Like aren't they supposed to blow up now? Like
yeah,
it's like no, because no one's reading blogs.
totally.
People are
It,
watching TikTok.
honestly, yeah, okay. So honestly, yes, it's a little sad to see that era go by, but there was a moment where Pitchfork thought they were the shit.
Oh
And
man, I hated Pitchfork.
I
Everybody hated
thought
Pitchfork.
everyone hated Pitchfork. So for me, it's like I feel glad. I'm like, oh, thank God, the power has moved away from you. But now it's moved to
Mhm.
Spotify, which may be potentially even worse, because they control the money aspect as well as the exposure. Where
Yeah,
Pitchfork didn't fuck with their money, they just fucked with their exposure.
yeah,
But now Spotify's
yeah.
got you both by the balls. Yeah, I think about
No,
that now all the time.
I
Uh,
know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. I do love TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
I am. I just don't. I just can't. Like, I'm like, I just. It's so much work right
Right.
now. Like, it's not natural to me yet. Like
Yeah.
Instagram, I get it. You post a picture of your face with the caption, boom, got it.
Boom. Algorithm likes that. Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok, like I know I've been on it enough that I know what they want. I just have not the energy or like good enough phone.
Right. Totally.
Like you need to have like an iPhone 11 or up to
For
like
it to look good. Yeah.
for it to look good, and then you need just like a lot of time to like
Yeah.
edit it in the app and stuff. It's not like a photo you can just make a funny caption.
Right.
But I mean, it's entertaining, TikTok is so entertaining. And it's like, obviously, I've been like, it took me like 4 years or something to get like, I don't even know how, like 8,000 followers on Instagram or something.
Right.
And then like one of my friends started TikTok like a month ago and has like 20,000 followers. And I'm
Totally.
like, dang.
The growth is insane. If you really grind on
It's
that app,
insane.
you can grow really quickly.
I know.
I know.
But then I see some people grind and go nowhere. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how, you got to make that shareable content. But I'm like, I'm also,
Yeah.
but then I'll spend like I'll spend like, honestly, I'm pretty lazy. Whenever I'll spend
Right.
like 10 minutes like trying to brainstorm a funny idea or something. And then, I'm like, I don't know. Or I'm like, this isn't why I'm here. Or like, this isn't
Right.
what, this isn't why I'm trying to do music. It's like, this is fun. Like, I love like sketch comedy, but I feel like
Right.
I'm like brainstorming, trying to brainstorm like a sketch comedy thing. And I'm like, what does this have to do with my music? That's like me expressing my emotion. The other
And
day, though, I made a one that I'm really proud of. I was really, really proud of it. It was Bob Dylan, but nobody found it. Got like 0 likes. Like nobody, it did not. The algorithm did not like it. I think it had like 30 views or something, and it was
um
just Bob Dylan teaching you yoga. It was like a shower thought that I was like, how funny would it be to have Bob Dylan be like, inhale, exhale, and I was like, this is hilarious. And then no one was, it was like, whatever.
dude, the most random things blow up on TikTok. It is so fucking weird. Sometimes I'll post something like, I'm like, oh, this is for my music video. It looks good. It's like,
Yeah.
this should do well. And then it gets like dog shit engagement. And then I'll post like, here's what I ate for lunch today. And yay, some love. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Not the lunch.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Brutal. What are some of those main differences between self-releasing your EP and doing it with a label?
Um, I took a bit of stress off, to be honest, because self-releasing, you're like, you got your checklist, you're like, okay. So yeah, so self-releasing, it's a bit more stressful because you got all of your own, you're your own boss, and like you got your checklist, like, did I go to Submit Hub? Did I send this to all the right people, et cetera, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And with the label, you're kind of like, all right, that's your job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the music man. You guys do the thing. But the thing is that's not, I thought it was like that, but it's still a ton of work. They're still like,
Totally.
hey, can you write a little press statement? Can you like take nice photos? Can you like do all the stuff? But it is just psychologically, it definitely, it is a huge boost because you're like, wow, somebody else, this is also someone else's job now to like
Right.
make sure that this music gets out there. So that was nice. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do that might not make sense being on a label. Like NFTs would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I see people doing NFTs now, and I'm like, ooh, that looks fun. But like, it wouldn't really make sense with a label, or like even crazy stuff like starting an OnlyFans. I think that would be hilarious. Just like wouldn't really make sense with the label. So we'll see.
You gotta be careful, man. OnlyFans takes 20%, as a Patreon would only take 10%.
Oh, interesting. So okay,
I've looked into this already because I thought it was hilarious.
Good. All right, okay. So we need to either make Patreon more sexy or OnlyFans less sexy.
Right.
I think it's easier to make something less sexy, but they take 20%. That's interesting.
Yeah, they take 20%. And if you think of some of those big creators making $1 million a month,
yeah,
Patreon does nothing but all they did was make the fucking app or make the website. That's all they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think about that all the time. Yeah, Patreon, same thing. 10%. And what'd you do? Oh, you just had a website? Oh, I'm giving you 10% because you have a website? Like, okay.
I know.
I can get a website. Like,
yeah, right. That's good to know. Maybe we should just start our own Patreon OnlyFans.
Yes.
Call it like Jolteon, like some like Pokemon.
What did you say? Oh, about NFTs. Have you looked into that at all?
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal?
Well, there's obviously some like ecological hesitations because apparently it just takes so much electricity to.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I know that blockchain is not the most eco-friendly. Like some people compare it to like just like letting your car run and you're and you're like you do have these like massive servers that are just like running all the time.
Yeah.
But From more of like a political perspective, it seems like a good way to actually like give a bunch of power back to artists, like people who have, like you and me, who can't really like sell their own physical product anymore. I mean,
Right.
some people buy vinyl, sure, but it's not like a huge part of how we're gonna make money. But NFTs are kind of a way of almost to like invest in an artist. Like, let's say, like I put out an NFT that it's a unique individual MP3 that no one's heard before, and it's like just a collector's item. And let's say someone bought it for like $100, and then but they're buying it with the like they're basically betting on me getting bigger in the future so they can
Right.
resell it. It's just like a way for people to like actually kind of empower artists. Hopefully, I mean that would be cool if that ends up how it's. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You can only buy it with Ethereum, right? That's like the thing. It's only one type of crypto you can
Right. It's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bought in Ethereum. So yeah, Ethereum's been going up a bunch lately.
Dogecoin's gone up a bunch. Like everything's going up.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
Did you get into the Dogecoin?
I didn't get into the Doge. No, I was in it a couple years ago. Not Doge, but into the whole crypto game, and then I was like, this is way too stressful for me. I just ended up watching numbers and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to be a crypto dude. I'll just let people make a bunch of money. I'm just trying to be happy.
I'm just wondering, like, because yes, I made like $400 off Dogecoin, and I sold it because I was just like, I don't know. This doesn't seem reliable. Like, I feel like I've already made what I was going to. I only put $20 in. So I was like, that's a lot for me.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, am I even going to be alive to see the true use of crypto? I feel like we're that far away. I don't know. But maybe, I don't know.
I mean, we don't really know. I feel like there's too many benefits to it, like in terms of decreasing transaction costs, that governments are definitely going to hop on board, but they're going to make their own version of, virtual currencies, which might just completely destroy the value of all these things. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, big banks are actually like investing in making their own versions of these things. So,
right. And the cards too. I think I got a commercial for like a Chase Bank crypto card. Like,
God.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not gonna get all into that world. I feel like I dipped my foot in with the Doge, got my free money, and then left. I was like, I'm out.
Exactly. Get out of there.
Unless I can buy that Tesla tour van. You see, Tesla's coming out. I think it's a 12-passenger van.
Whoa. That's insane.
And it has solar power on the roof.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The only way I would get one of those is if I want to give away.
Yeah. Imagine pulling up to the venue in one of those. Like, who the fuck is this band? Fucking.
I know. I also feel like most places you go, they would just break the window. People just break the windows.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be like, what is that door, man? There must be something in there.
Dude, Elon should put that bulletproof glass on there. And then most bands will buy that. You mean you can't break into this van? Okay, good. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. I've never been behind the wheel of a car. I've never driven. And I don't really plan on ever doing it. I would love to do like a really slow tour.
On a bike?
Just like walk. Like either biking or walking or just play a bunch of like random places in between cities. Cause
I've heard of bands doing that, like doing like a bike tour where a few, like maybe two, acoustic and maybe somebody else with a small drum or something, get on a bike. Well, they each have different bikes, not a tandem, but that'd be crazy if they rode a fucking tandem town to town. And they just played shows like that, that you play at one show every 3 days or something. Every 2 to 3 days, and you could make it work, I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be easier in some states. Like, you couldn't go to like Texas and do that. Maybe you could, but I don't think you could. California is a little easier.
A little easier, a little more hilly though. I mean, Texas. It's definitely huge, but there's a lot of places to play. It seems like, I don't know. I've actually never played in Texas.
Really?
Are you in Texas?
No, I'm in California.
Yeah. Oh, you're in California? Oh,
Yeah, I'm in
cool.
Santa Barbara, just 90 miles north of Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. I don't really the Santas. There's so many
Too
Santas
many.
around there.
Yeah. Are you originally from Chicago?
No, I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Oh,
I'm
really?
here. I'm Okie boy. Yeah. Well, I moved when I was a young teenager. Well, we moved first to Vermont. I lived in Vermont for 2 years. My mom was going to law school, and then she got an exchange program in Paris. So that's actually where I was for most of my all of my teenage
Really?
years. I was in Paris, France. Yeah, that was fun. And my parents are still over there, so that's a good place to like go
Oh, they still live over there.
visit. Yeah. They actually like became French and everything.
Cool.
They love. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then, how old were you when you were living in Paris?
Age 13 to 19. About I was there for
Oh,
like
yeah.
6 years.
Those are big
Very
years.
formative.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are big years. Exactly. So I was like very much. Yeah. There's a lot of French in me. Well, I always wear black, so that's kind
Right,
of
right.
something I got from up there.
And when did you move back? So at 19, you moved back to the United States?
Yeah, I moved to New York where I'd never been, and I actually had no idea. I applied. I was like, if I'm going to go back to America, I'm going to only do it big. I'm going to apply to all the big
The big
schools. So
schools.
I just replied to all the places I recognized, like Harvard and Stanford and whatever. And I got into Columbia, and I had no idea that it was in New York. Like, literally no idea. I was like, oh, cool, some other elite Northeast school, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I ended up being in New York City, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. So moved there and stayed for 8 years.
Oh, you stayed for 8 years, so I'm assuming you liked it?
Dude, I mean, I got there. At first, I was like, whoa, this is too much. And like, because they like drop you off right in the middle of Times Square. And
Yeah,
like,
and you're
what
just
the-
like, what the fuck is this?
No, the bus terminal is like right there. You're like, what? And then I just started to walk around, and I was like, oh, this place is like pretty chill, actually. I mean, chill is not the right word, but it's exciting.
Right.
So yeah, and as soon as I figured out that, it's just a big grid, I was like, oh, I've never really been able to like spatially understand a city. Like
Right.
It's always just kind of magic to me. And then once I figured out I could like actually understand something like that, I was like, oh my God, I have to like learn everything about this place. So I became a tour guide.
Really?
And started giving walking tours of New York. And that was really cool. I just wanted to like know everything. Be like, that manhole is for gas. That building was built in 1916 or whatever.
Totally.
Like, I just wanted to like really understand what was going on. And yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Do you think you have a good understanding now of New York and how it works? And
kind of, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's always changing. That's the thing.
Right,
That's the
right.
thing. But in terms of like, I was like really interested in like just like the infrastructure. Like, how does New York get water? Where does its waste go? Those kind of things kind of inform your whole view. Like, there's lots of different levels that you can look at the city from, like the historical level of like, oh my, like this used to be like an indigenous trail, and that's why like Broadway. Like you look at Manhattan and you're like, okay, I get it, but like, what's going on with Broadway? It goes diagonal and whatever. And it's because it was an indigenous trail that they just like built. They were like, all right, this will be our first road.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's all this cool history and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, that's I mean, that's the alluring thing. As soon as you start to figure it out, it's like a little apple in front of your face. Like you're like, I think I
or
get
the big
it.
apple.
The big apple in front of your face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wild, man. I think I was gonna move to New York when I was 18 with some other bandmates. Like we were in a different band, and I was like, yeah, that would be the right thing for me. And then when I finally went to New York and I was 25, I was like, this is overwhelming. I'm 25 and I'm overwhelmed. So either way, I was originally gonna move when I was 18. I didn't. And by the time I was like 24 or 25, I went to shoot like a music video, and it was like way too much for me. I was like, wow. I was like, this city really doesn't sleep. That shit is for real. I thought it was just like a saying, but it's like literally all night. I was like, how do people fucking get some decent sleep in this city.
They don't. That's the
They
thing.
don't.
You don't. Yeah. That's my song, New York. It was. I think it started. The starting line is "I'll sleep when dead." Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, is it fair to say you got your musical start in New York? Then, when did you really start
Absolutely.
playing music?
I mean, I was always playing music,
Right.
but it was just in my bedroom, with my little acoustic guitar kind of deal. I never played. I mean, I busked in Paris because it was actually a pretty good way to like, if you went to the tourist places and played Beatles songs, like
Right.
you're bound to get like at least like 20 years an hour or something. So that was pretty fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, but really wasn't playing my own stuff that much until like in a proper like venue and everything until I got to New York. And it wasn't actually, I started out by booking other bands because that was just so much fun and so easy to do in New York because there's always so many bands coming through
Right.
that I would just like hit up a band on like Facebook message, a band that like had less than like 10,000 likes on Facebook.
Right.
And like 8 times out of 10, they'd be like, yeah, we'll play a house show like
Yeah.
for like $100 or something. So, so that was awesome. That was so much fun. I started a little music blog. We were talking about music blogs. It was actually, it was in reaction to how much I hated Pitchfork at the time. Because I was like, why would you put like a point, like a 7 point whatever?
Right.
Like just the point felt so pretentious to me. So it was like anti-point system of rating. And also like, why write about bands that you don't like?
Yes.
Like,
I think about that all the time.
We're only writing about bands that we are genuinely passionate for, and generally we're trying to write mostly about New York bands, just so we had an excuse to interview them.
What was that blog called?
It's called Rare Candy.
Cool.
Yeah, Rare Candy. I mean, I'm obviously a Pokemon fan.
Right. Totally.
So that was fun. We had, and then I ended up just throwing like so many shows. Like I was throwing like a few shows a month, like just because I got addicted to the feeling of like putting something together and like that awesomeness of just like bringing people in a physical space. And yeah, I was playing with a band that I started called Hubba Bubba that was like fun. And it was like more like just party rock. Like it was just all fast paced, like, yeah,
totally.
Just fun stuff and people can dance and mosh too. And then when I got out of college and I had a day job, I was like, all right, what am I trying to do here? I almost like forgot that that it was my dream to be a musician because I got so caught up in like promoting other people's music and writing about bands and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I almost forgot that I was like, this is what I've always wanted to do.
Totally.
So it was cool then like having that perspective of interviewing people and putting together shows and how much work goes into it and stuff. And so then I started doing JW Francis stuff, and I had a great time. It's been amazing. I mean, besides the whole pandemic,
right?
Like right before the pandemic, I got asked to go play in Costa Rica, and there have been many experiences I've had throughout the past few years that the universe has been like, this is what you want to be doing. Like, this is so awesome. Like, just keep going. But going to Costa Rica, playing a show, it was the biggest show I've ever played. There were 300 people there, bought tickets, like, and they were literally, it was insane. It was like a total Disney Channel original movie moment. Like they were being like, Francis. I was like, that's me. Like, it's crazy.
That's so crazy.
It was really crazy.
How many shows did you do in Costa Rica?
I did 3 shows, I think.
Whoa.
I did one. Oh, I guess 2, and then we did like this hotel thing that was kind of funny. But
what was the hotel thing?
Well, my host, who is amazing, he has a band. His name is Stuart, called Sport Dad, which is awesome. They're definitely great. You should check them out.
Yeah,
he has like a running he has a running gig in this hotel playing in like the lobby, just like guitar and singing, like kind of acoustic stuff. And he was like, you should come and do a little set. Like, well, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it was just like in the lobby of some hotel.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But it was fun.
So you guys played that show with Sport Dad. Did you just borrow their gear, or what'd you do as far as traveling?
Yeah, man, I have a lot of trust, and I'm also an anti-perfectionist.
Yeah.
So generally when I travel to play shows, sometimes I'll bring a guitar, sometimes I'll just show up and I'm like, hey, what you got?
Right.
And it just works. Yeah, so that one I didn't even bring a guitar. I was like, can I borrow a guitar? And they were like, yeah, cool. And I was like, cool, I can't really afford to bring my whole band, so I'll just bring my iPod and put some backing tracks on it.
Whoa.
And that worked. Yeah. And even when I went to, I did like a little Midwest tour. I played like Bloomington, Davenport, Chicago. That was sometime in 2019. And I was just like, hey, like, yeah, I can't afford 4 or 5 plane tickets. So the people who asked me, I was like, do you guys play drums and bass and guitar? And they were like, oh, are you asking us to be your band? I was like, yeah, if you'll have me, whatever.
Totally.
They were like, yeah, are you kidding me?
Oh,
like,
that's sick.
Dream. It was sick. And I just showed up. We rehearsed the day of, and I was like, sounds good to me.
Whoa, that's cool. That's a good that's like a good mentality to have, to just be able to, like, you know, the show goes on, anti-perfectionist. It's just, you know, it will sound good. It will have its own vibe.
It will have its own vibe. Yeah, it won't be the record. It won't be my New York band. It won't be anything like that. But that's the best part about, I feel like that's honestly the best part of being a solo act.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of what I'm selling or whatever, or putting out there, is just like myself.
Yeah.
So like the music is obviously a big part of it, but as long as I'm there at the show,
it's a JW Francis show. As long as you're there,
Francis show, exactly.
Yeah.
As well as if I was in a band, then the whole band would have to be there, or like people would have a very high standard for the music.
Right.
So not that I'm trying to like not give people a good, pleasant musical experience.
Right.
It's got to sound like the song, but I just don't. Yeah, I really have come into contact with a lot of people who are perfectionists, and they seem so unhappy.
Right.
All the time, especially in music. Like whenever you have to get it sounding the same in every venue, or whenever, like, you know, you've got, I don't even use, like, I have one pedal, but like, I you know, they have their huge pedal board and all that stuff. I'm just like, just make it simple.
Right.
And just like try to use as little as effects as possible. You know, yeah, like I said, I'm just there to have a good time.
What's the one pedal?
What's
your one pedal? Can we say? Or is it?
Oh man, it's really funny because I bring it and the sound guy gets scared and he's like, oh gosh, one of these. And then I tell them how I'm using it and they're like, that's pretty stupid. I use a SP404, which most people know as a sampling machine.
Yeah.
But you can just use it as a pedal, plugging your guitar in the in and put the out to the amp. I had to have mine modded a little bit because it's not really made to have that much wear and tear and bring it on the road or whatever. But yeah, I just use it as a filter instead of the huge capacity that it has. I use it in a very limited way. I just put that vinyl sim filter on my guitar and futz around with the parameters and get it sounding good. But yeah. They're always like, oh man, you need a DI box and whatever. And I'm like, no DI box. I'm plugging this thing straight into the amp.
And do they think it's stupid? Do they think it's stupid because you can just get another kind of pedal that would do that and you don't need to bring the big sampler? Do you think there's an easier way to do it, or no? You just like it this way?
I think there is, but I've tried a couple different things, and like I had like the Charles Bliss or whatever, the Charles Bliss warped vinyl uh,
Yeah.
pedal, but I brought it to France and plugged it in, and it fried. It was like
Oh.
it wasn't cool with the European wattage. So, and that was like,
Oh.
and they're so expensive. It was like $500, and
Yeah.
so I just got kind of butthurt after that, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with my SP404. Like
Right.
the like the good warped vinyl pedals are all like so niche and expensive.
Yeah.
I guess there's that what is that one called that everyone's using? Shoot, I gotta look this up now. It's
Is
a
it
warped
that?
vinyl pedal.
Oh, it's a warp vinyl, not just like a
Oh,
a
Lo-Fi
vibrato.
Junkie. Lo-Fi Junkie.
Lo-fi junkie.
Yeah, have you seen that one? I think it's called, it's the Vexter Lo-Fi Junkie. It looks like you can get it for like $190 used. So it's not as bad, but
I just
still.
tuned my guitar really shittily.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just like in a rush. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Like, okay, no.
Yeah. You just do that. And then
Or I
if you
just
got
leave the
an
intonation. The
amplifier-
intonation's just always off on my guitar. Just never fix
Dude,
it.
that's the thing. Every single guitar is like bad. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I've
yeah.
even like good, even like I remember one time, I don't know why, I immediately sold it because I was like, I can't I bought like a $1,200.
Whoa.
I saved up for so long. I bought like a $1,200 Fender Telecaster, like standard American standard professional.
Right.
Because I was like, I'm gonna be a real musician.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I got out of tune all the time. And like, anything above the 12th fret like was not in tune. And I was like, what? Like this is supposed to be the best.
Yeah.
So I immediately, I think I just returned it or something. I was like, no, this is, and yeah, you get a $400-$500 guitar. It's like the same thing.
Just as good. Yeah. Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, I think the most I've ever paid for a guitar is $800, and like, I like it. I don't think I need, like, I have 2 guitars. I don't really need more. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you have a lot of guitars, or what's your situation like?
When I was like making the EP, I was really obsessed with guitar tones. It was before I was recording with Sahil. It's so much nicer to have someone else who cares about that stuff more than you. Oh, did I lose you?
I can hear you.
You look a little frozen. Can you hear me? I'm waving away the. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I was like really obsessed with guitar tone, and I think I had, let's see, I had, so I had my SG. A lot of these like are old guitars that I've just like have like my grandpa got me or something. So I had an SG that was like really for like that warm, humbucker sound. I was like, this is a specific thing. I had a Taisco. Those Japanese 60s guitars that my dad actually got at an auction or at a garage sale, and it has someone's social security on the back. So I feel weird about selling it. It's like literally got their like etched in, which is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, for like that really crappy guitar sound, that's really good if you want that like really small sounding kind of thing. And then I borrowed this hot wired Telecaster from a friend that was like that. Honestly, that ended up being the guitar on the first EP because it was just so warm and big, and I could just do a lot with it. Anyway, so I had those, and then I had 2 different nylons because one of them was really crappy but sounded cool with a contact mic on it. And one other one was not so crappy, and I could just play it into like a big like a Bluebird microphone or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I ended up having just like 6 or 7 guitars, and then I was like, why do I have so many? I was like, I kind of get disgusted by stuff. I'm like, I don't like having stuff. I'm like, I'm not good at taking care of it. I lose stuff. I just don't like stuff. And so
how do you feel about this minimalist wave? Do you feel like you're a minimalist, or do you even connect with that like community?
Oh, is there a wave? What's going on with that?
There's just like there's a big minimalist like wave of people who want to get rid of their stuff. Something like that. And
like
it's all about having one fork, one spoon, one plate,
Really?
one cup. Everything's just, and they don't like any excess. Do you feel like you're that way
That's
too? Well, you'll have one cup, one plate.
Well, like I said, I'm an anti-perfectionist, so
Yeah.
I tend not to put too much pressure on myself for things like that because it's
Yeah.
like, whatever. But at the same thing, at the same time, like I definitely relate to that. I mean, you're talking to someone who just like gave up all their stuff, gave up their apartment, like staying with my grandma so that I can go walk the Appalachian Trail. I'm gonna have everything I own on my back for 4 months. So.
Wow.
Definitely, I feel that, but at the same time, you can't be too harsh on yourself. If you want another fork, no one's gonna blame you. Also, like, not having. Also, like, where are your friends? Like,
Right.
like, are they supposed to bring their one fork or whatever? Because my friends don't walk. They don't show up with forks.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's so crazy. Do you feel like that lifestyle, or like this lack of excess, or just like keeping things real bare? Do you think that bleeds into your recording style? Because I feel like there isn't a lot of excess on your recordings. It sounds like it's the band.
It's funny because
just the songs in the band.
Yeah, it's funny because like there's definitely like a push and pull between me and Sahil. He is, I don't even think he'd like me calling him this. He's definitely not this, but compared to me, he's kind of a maximalist.
Right.
Like he loves like big sounds and like big kind of stuff, whatever. And I'm super like, let's make it crappier. Let's make it smaller. Let's get that like John Lennon first album vibe.
Yeah, Plastic Ono Band.
Dry. Yeah, everything's super dry. You hear each individual thing. Definitely, I feel like it would. I guess it would get into that. Like, what I'm trying to do right now is kind of like establish whatever my sound is with this jangly guitar, this kind of minimal whatever. And I'm gonna do it again and again, and because I feel like if you want something to stick, you have to do it a couple times. So like the second album, which I released 2 singles off of it, Maybe and I Love You, I feel like it sounds like an evolution, but at the same time, it sounds like me and it sounds like that sound. And the third one is going to be like it's going to be like the best of that sound.
Yeah.
And then I want to shave the beard, go completely left turn.
Yeah, totally.
Like start wearing black leather and like blood or I don't know, something just like
some
more like post punk.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
So you're saying the third album or the third single that's going to come out is going to be even bigger, or you mean like the third album?
The third album.
Oh, okay,
I'm way too far ahead. That's the other thing. Is quarantine just like got my gears working, and I was like, I got so many freaking unfinished voice memos I got to flesh out, and I did that. But now I'm like, I got way too many songs, so I kind of put them away, and I'm like trying not to look at them or listen to them because I'm like, I'm gonna come back for you guys. I got to go do some non-music stuff for a bit because I'm not gonna have a guitar out there on the trail, which that's probably gonna be a little freaky because I've never not had a guitar to just like
fiddle around,
strum around. Yeah, but I'm kind of excited to see what comes out of my head when I don't have it. I'm thinking of doing some kind of like crooner thing or like some kind of like Sinatra album would be fun. It's like out there. Oh, the moon. I don't know, something.
No, I'm telling you, man. As soon as you're just walking around, sometimes that's when the best melodies come to me. When I'm just like walking around, like I used to have this job working for the downtown parking, and it was like taking tickets. And but eventually, I got promoted from taking the tickets inside the booth to just like giving breaks and walking around. And that's when I came up with a bunch of shit because I didn't have my headphones. I wasn't allowed to listen to music. I was just walking around, and that's when just shit comes up. Or when I didn't have a car and I was on the bus and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Like things like that. I miss those moments. I don't have those moments because I have a car now, and it's like I'm listening to something or I'm singing along to something else. Like I still don't have those moments where I'm just quiet. I guess the shower is like the last place. And sometimes melodies come in the shower too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's super important to create that quiet space for your brain, I think, definitely, because that's where the infinite possibilities come out.
Yeah.
Because whenever you're like, okay, today I got to do this, I got to go take a shower and then do my thing and then do whatever, then
Right.
it just doesn't leave a lot of your whole mental landscape becomes logistics. And it's like you're kind of anchored to you got to get your head in the clouds. We got
Okay,
it.
I think we're back. Yeah, don't worry.
Nice.
I'll just edit all that stuff
Nice.
out. Yeah.
Nice.
But like, yeah, even like today, woke up 8:30. Well, I woke up at 6 and I was like, I'm not waking up at 6 today. And then I went back to sleep. And then it was like
Thank goodness.
8:30. I was like, oh shit, I gotta set up all the camera shit. Okay, all right. So now I gotta do that. And then after this, I have like a job interview like at 1. So now I'm like,
Wow.
But luckily that's like through Zoom, so I'll be fine. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's for Seymour Duncan. You know that pickup company?
Yeah.
They make
Wait,
guitar
what's their
pickups.
deal?
Yeah, they just make guitar pickups.
Oh, yeah.
They're- Yeah, their offices are like their warehouse and everything is like 5 minutes away from my house. So
No way.
yeah, I applied for an assembly position. I was like, I'm not, I don't know. Maybe I could put a pedal together. Like, and then I went and I checked out their warehouse. I was like, this is sick. But like, I'm realizing that I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. I don't know if I can do. So I'm talking to somebody else there about a different position. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I like to go into
Fingers
interviews with just like we'll see attitudes, because every time I'm nervous or I have high expectations, that's when I get let down, or that's when I'm like too nervous to talk. But I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm just chilling. I'm enjoying my
Keep
life
it chill.
until this world opens
That's
up
right.
again and I have to start stressing out again.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly.
Are you a homebody? Or are you like an extrovert? Because I feel like the pandemic's affected people in a different way depending on what kind of personality type you are. Would you say you liked being at home a lot? Were you at home that much? Or, yeah.
When the pandemic hit, I was in just some Craigslist apartment, and all my Craigslist roommates left. They still paid rent, which was cool, but I was like completely isolated for about 4 months or so.
Whoa.
And yeah, like Joe Fusco, my best friend, would come over on Friday nights for game night, which was great. But yeah, for about 16, 17 weeks or so, counted by the
Right.
weeks, it was pretty, yeah. And first 2 months, I was like, oh, sick. Like I still have my job, which is cool. And
Cool.
I was like, oh, sick. Like I have all this time for all these creative projects. I got, poetry I want to write, and I got screenplays I love doing all kinds of stuff. So I was like, let me write a million songs and all this stuff. And after 2 months, I was like, oh, this is actually bad for my mental health.
How so? How so?
Well, just not, as much as I love my internal world, it's great. Like there's just an infinite amount of possibilities of things that could go on in there.
Right.
It's still so, you're still limited by by your own self. And that's why I love meeting people. That's why I love learning people's stories and what they've got going on. And, everybody wants to be alone in their life sometimes.
Yeah.
That's just like a natural thing. But, you shouldn't be alone for that long.
Totally.
No, we're still social creatures. Extrovert, introvert, it doesn't matter. It will affect you. So, I mean, yeah, they say, I don't even know what the difference is exactly. I think like introvert, you get your energy from being alone. You feel like drained to other people, but like you got to get drained to get back your energy. So like you need people no matter what
Totally.
side of the spectrum you're on.
Were you able to write songs during the pandemic? We're still kind of in it. I have been kind of annoyed when people are like, oh, in the pandemic. I was like, we're still in it. Don't act like we're
it's
not
still
in it.
going on, dude.
It's still happening. But like at the beginning, when we really didn't know how, it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We might be on the other way end of this, but like when there was no light, were you able to write at all?
Yeah, it was funny because definitely I saw a lot of people be like, how can you write at this time? Like there's just so much going on, whatever. And I luckily the way I work is kind of like I always have a crazy backlog of ideas because as soon as I got like a melody or something like that, I'll sing it into my voice memos. And so I'm just constantly trying to catch up with myself in terms of like fleshing those out and making those. And sometimes you flesh them out and you're like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And you throw it away. And so I luckily just had a crap load, especially because of the way I kind of structure my creative year. The past couple of years, I've done this thing where, like, for Valentine's Day, I'll put out a call on Instagram and I'll be like, hey, if you have someone, or not even if you have someone, I'll write a song for anybody that you love. Just give me their name and the reason you love them. The first year I got like 40 requests, and like the second year I got like 80 requests. Oh. Yeah. And this past year I got like, I can't remember exactly, 96 or something. I got like a ton of requests. So I had like written like 80 songs last year for all these people. And like a handful of them were like really good.
Right. Like you could, so you could flesh them out a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So I had like already an album's worth of material to just like flesh out. So I spent the first couple of months really doing that. And then I had all these other bastard children songs that were like, please develop me. And
right.
I just had all this material to develop. So I didn't really even feel like I was being super creative. I mean, I was, but it felt more like I was just
finishing up.
Fleshing stuff out. There we go. Ooh, got some liqueur.
Oh yeah, tangerine.
Nice.
Oh.
But yeah, so
yeah, it just felt like you had to finish up these songs, so you had a good starting point. Did you change the lyrics?
Yes. Well, the funny thing is that the funny thing is that I realized that all of the third album is actually started out as Valentine's Day songs or birthday songs. Because once I ran out of Valentine's Day songs, then it was like a couple months into the pandemic. I was like, okay, if anybody has a birthday during this time, because it sucks to have a birthday during quarantine, and I'll write you a song. So that like another 50 requests for birthday songs, and that produced a few more good songs. And so, yeah, it's just great to have these prompts that kind of make you do it.
So someone's going to hear this record and be like, that's my song.
12 people are going to hear this record and be like,
I think that's that song he made for me.
Yeah, that's exactly. Which is going to be really funny. Yeah. only one of the songs, the last one, I didn't change at all.
Really?
I literally kept it their name. I kept like Happy Valentine's Day in there, like, but all the other ones, I kind of wrote something else.
So that would make the new single that you dropped last night make a lot more sense. I Love You.
Oh, that one. So, well, I'm talking third album. The second album.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep track.
Sorry, yeah. So we were talking in the future, but also presently you do have a record. You are preparing for a record to come out.
Yeah, that's right. That's honestly, so yeah, that's probably the biggest advice I would give to anybody trying to do music is just write a lot all the time. Too many people, the people I've seen just give up, really had it in their heads that like their first EP or their second EP or their third EP or whatever was going to make it. Or like that was, or like they write a really good song that's like objectively catchy and amazing and like really hooking, and it doesn't get on a Spotify playlist or it doesn't take off, and then that crushes them and they're done. It's like, well, just always think what's next. Like as soon as you got the song out, if it doesn't blow up, you're like, I don't care because I got another one.
Right.
I don't care because I got another one. Yeah.
No, that's great advice. I just said that in another interview the other day of like, that happened to me. I had this song and I was like, this is it. And everyone around me was telling me, this is it, dude. This is the one. This is the one. And I was like, sweet, I'm ready for this ride. And then it didn't happen. Like, granted, the song did well. But like, it wasn't this meteoric rise to fame and every label I
Right.
showed it to liked that song, but didn't like me enough to actually invest the money into me. So it was like this weird, we love this song, but you, I don't know. Like,
That's
okay.
gotta be great for your confidence.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. So then, you feel sad for a while, but then after, a month or something, I was just sitting there. I was like, well, back to the fucking drawing. I need to write something better now. Like, what the fuck? So but you can go either way. That shit can kill your confidence or, get back to writing harder,
Right.
more,
Exactly.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More.
I don't know if I wrote more, but like I definitely wrote harder, I definitely spent more time on each song. I definitely sat there and really worked out the chords and really worked out the structures and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been writing like a whole lot. I feel like lyrics are going to be the last thing for me because I have like 7 songs done now, but like the lyrics are going to be at the very end because nothing to really write about, and I don't feel like writing about the pandemic. I feel like that's very lame. I don't know.
No.
Did you,
lame. So
dude, did you hear that
nose.
Mick Jagger song? Mick Jagger and Dave
Oh my
Grohl?
God. Yeah, exactly. It was exactly like what you're not supposed to do. Like, evidence inside. And
Yes.
it was just like, no, dude, like, this is not speaking to us. This is making us cringe. Like, this is like, I don't want to hear about my life.
He has a line that says, vaccine in my veins. Bill Gates is in my genes or some shit like that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Are you a conspiracy theorist too? Is it a joke? Like,
I couldn't tell if it was a joke if he's serious.
yeah.
Yeah, that shit. I was dying the other day. I couldn't take it. I was like, I gotta stop. I listened to it like 5 times. I was like, this is brutal. Do you know that Instagram account, Catatonic Youths?
No, I'm gonna need to get this. What is it?
They kind of like find really cringy music videos or like and post it on their Instagram. It's called Catatonic Youths.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's
Musicians
just
are powers.
it's like, if you like kind of cringy.
I love cringe.
Yeah, it's very cringy.
I'm followed.
You're thinking you'll be on this trail until September. Do we have more singles coming out by then? Or what's the plan?
Yeah. Well, in this era, you can't just drop an album.
True.
People don't consume music like that. Yeah, you gotta drop the singles. So it's kind of like constructing a playlist for people. You're like, here's a song. And they're like, we love it. And you're like, all right, here's a song. And they're like, we love it. And we're like, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song. Guess what? They're all on an album.
Yeah, all your favorite songs on one place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In one place. It was previously called an album, but now it's a playlist. But, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I guess in the olden days, you come out with like 2 singles for an album, and now it seems like the norm is more like 6 or 7 singles.
Just about half the record. Yeah.
Yeah, which it makes sense. That's just how we're incentivized to do it. Because, like whenever you upload something to Spotify, they're like, all right, do you want to pitch a track to our playlist editors? And you're like, hell yeah. And if you upload the whole album, they're like, all right, pick one. And you're like, but there's 11 tracks on this album. And I think they could all be in playlists.
Right.
So I dropped 2 singles already, just one yesterday, which is super fun. And then next month, releasing another. And then sometime like 6 weeks after that, dropping another.
And by that point, then
I'll be like 5 singles in. I think we're doing 5 singles on this one. And then September 3rd is when the album comes out. So I'm trying to like be in New York for when the album comes out. So
are you going to have your phone? Cool. Are you going to have your phone on you at all? Will you be semi-aware of like what's happening, what day it is? Oh, a single came out today, but I'm on this trail. Like,
I hope to. Yeah. I think you get service like every couple days.
Cool.
So I hope to time it so that I can like be on the internet when the singles come out. Just because like I personally love to just like send them out and be like, yo, I got a new single.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone's like, it's just fun to like, because Yeah, I mean, I am very happy to like not be like totally watching the numbers and everything like that, because sometimes
Right.
you can just get kind of glued to your Spotify for artists, and you're like, how many people are listening right now? 3? Oh no, I suck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
know.
sometimes you get like 35 people listening right now. Wow. And you like
You're
think
like,
about like
whoa.
35 different parties, and you're like, all of them are listening to me.
Right, right.
but but yeah, so I'm kind of happy to not be too much in the numbers this time. But
Cool.
no.
How exciting, man. I think it's good. I think it's good for everyone to like log off for a while. I'm not saying everyone should go on this Appalachian Trail, but like log off just for a little bit, dude. Like,
Just log off for a little bit, see what it's
yeah.
like, practice a new way of living. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm kind of trying to, I feel like I'm kind of like in these little mental patterns of checking my phone and just all these like little, what am I doing today? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm a huge lists person. And I feel like a lot of my brain is like lists of like things I should be doing, things I like need, and I kind of want to just like see what it's like to like put everything aside and
Right.
just walk.
Right.
And just
Totally.
like have a new list based on like feeding myself and making sure that I get as much rest as I can, and just like having that be my paradigm of living rather than like success and getting as many numbers on the songs as possible and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
totally.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll see. Maybe I'll hate it.
Actually, I love the grind.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just
Maybe
in
I'll be
love with
like,
the game.
I'm in love. Yeah, exactly. Maybe
I love the
that's
rat race, baby. I love to be the rat chasing the cheese. I like
yeah.
it.
But then and then when I come back to the game, I'll have a whole new appreciation for it, and I'll be like, oh, thank God, something to do.
Oh my God, I have to check Facebook, then Instagram, then Twitter, then go back to Facebook, then go back to Instagram, just in case something happened and I missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, click
exactly.
TikTok, scroll for 45 minutes. You don't even realize you've been on the fucking app for an hour, and you're just like, yeah, more,
I know.
another. Yeah.
I
My
know.
girlfriend,
That's the scary.
when she's on TikTok, her Fitbit thinks she's asleep. It starts calculating
Might
like,
as well be.
yeah. So now I'm like, I'm a little afraid of that app. After she was like, I don't know, it
Yeah.
said I was asleep for like an hour. I was like, that's when I was on TikTok. I think you turn into a fucking zombie when you're on that app.
Yeah, you just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember that when you were a kid, like TV was like the worst thing you could do?
That and like GTA,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, GTA is gonna make all of you so violent. It's like,
Oh,
well, maybe it'll be like the gun laws.
Dude, beginning of quarantine, that's all I did was GTA San Andreas on my Xbox One.
Right.
That was
those games were so fun. Yeah, I
So
remember I
fun.
wasn't allowed to play anything like that because you're shooting people and stuff. But I'm like, it's a video game.
It made me less violent because as much as I killed
Right.
people,
Like,
I would eventually die too.
right.
Been talking for about an hour and 13.
Wow.
Let's talk a little bit more. I want to know about Lo-Fi, the song Lo-Fi. Did the riff come first or did the song come first? What came first in that song?
Oh, I mean,
I love that riff.
Yeah, you hear that riff and you're like, absolutely, that riff came first. It was just like, I think it was literally, sometimes I'm just playing. That's the best time is like when I'm playing and I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, and I was like, oh, boom.
That's something.
Found one.
Yeah.
Just like digging in the mines and you find a little gem and you're like, all right, what's the chords? You got to figure out what chords they put on this one.
Oh, cool.
And so that one, usually the chords come first. I'm a chord guy and I'm just kind of like strumming around, whatever. But that one, it was just like, and I was like, all right, that's it. And then I had to figure out what to do next. And so,
right.
But yeah, and actually the song actually was not as good when I first wrote it. And the chorus brought the whole thing down. Like that was like the height of it, and the chorus brought everything down. And I was like, how do I like make this go like even more?
Yeah.
And so I was happy when I figured that out.
Wait, how'd you figure that out?
Well, it was literally during the recording. I was like, man, this song just like could slap if I just like figured out. So we recorded it one way, and I went home and I was so unhappy with it. I was like, dang, like I was like, let me just try and find a weird chord. Let me just try and make some weird shapes. And it was the I don't know what the chords are called.
Right.
But it was some weird shape, and I was like, that's it. Like, and it just gave me such a Strokes vibe, and that's what I was going for anyway for that song. So, yeah, definitely the riff came first, and pretty much all my songs on that album are just like, don't be too hard on yourself.
Right.
So that is what the song's about. And
was the weird chord in Lo-Fi, or which chord is it in the song? Is it at the end of the chorus?
It's right. No, it's what happens. Let me see. I could just like play it. I don't have a guitar with me in Oklahoma right now. But...
I don't want to get claimed on YouTube. No, I'm kidding.
Right?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, so there's a little riff. There's me.
Right.
Okay. This chord right here.
Oh yeah.
That I was like, oh, boom, there you
sick.
go.
Yeah.
Because I was bringing it. The whole song's in E, and I think I was taking it to like an F sharp minor, just something nice, classic, like whatever. And I was like, how? But then that made it go. I was like, how do I?
Yeah.
Bring it,
That's
so
wild. I don't know. Sahil Ansari, that's who you collaborate with?
Yeah.
How'd you meet him?
So this is a good little internet breadcrumb trail that we left, but I was obsessed with that band Good Morning. That band Good Morning?
No, but I'll
I
check them
interviewed their, oh dude, you would love them.
Hell yeah.
They're from Australia. They blew up some point. I don't remember when. I think Tyler, the Creator, tweeted about something. Anyway, and they're just great. I interviewed their manager when he was in New York for Rare Candy, just as like a random thing. And then he was like, hey, this band I managed, Good Morning, is coming to New York. Do you know a cheap place where they could stay? And I was like, they could stay in my basement. Right. Because I was in a dorm room. And I was like, I could probably get away with that.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, got away with it. But I was like, okay, so there's this like great band staying in my basement for free. How can I like get something out of them? Like, that's not money. Like let's throw a show, let's do a video session, whatever. So Sahil was a friend of a friend, and he had a roof and like a really good recording rig, and he worked at Vimeo. So I was like, he must know some video stuff. Right. So if you look up, I wonder what it would be. If you look up Good Morning Cabdag, I think so. One of the first video, or actually, no. Good Morning Cabdag live Rare Candy rooftop session.
All right.
It's funny because they just ripped this from YouTube or from Vimeo. They even say like, I don't have rights to this audio or video. That's really funny.
I like when people put that. It's like as if you're not going to get in trouble. Hey, I said I don't have rights. Yeah, that's just an admittance to your fraudulence. Oh
my gosh. Wow, this is so funny. I'm looking at the comments now, and they're like, this needs to be on iTunes. This is way better than studio recording. Blah. It's funny because I thought this was better than the studio recording.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes those live sessions are.
There's a bunch of comments on this. Wow, this actually got a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I haven't looked at this in years. Anyway, sorry. We made that, or me and Sahil made that video / like he did the recording of it. We made I was like, hey Sahil, there's this band staying in my basement. They're really good. Could we do some kind of like live recording setup? And he blew me away. He was like, he set it up. And we should listen to it after we talk because it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I was shooting on a little VHS camcorder, and he was shooting on like a good camera. And we made this together, and I was like, wow, this is great. Like, and Sahil's so good at what he does. So I started a band like a year later called Holy Ride. and it was me and a few friends from college, and he produced our EP. And honestly, at that point, I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to be way more lo-fi. So I made my own EP and was like, this is more what I'm going for. And he mixed it, but he was like, hey, next time you record, why don't you come to my studio, and I think I could help you make it sound good, but still bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, word. And that's the first record that came out last year. And it was, we were both like, all right, this works. Like, we found something that does really good. And then we recorded another one, and yeah, we're working on a third one right now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
I know, it was just like
meeting,
such a relief.
Yeah, because I think I know what you're talking about, like that really clean studio, your classic studio sound, but like trying to meet it with the lo-fi and find that good in between where it sounds good, but there's still a little dirt. It's still a little dirty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he knew how to do things the right way.
Right.
And I knew what I wanted, which was crappy sounds.
Totally.
And, yeah. So, yeah, once we figured out how to work together and both be happy.
Well, sweet, man. Okay, well, we can start wrapping this up. What's the best way for people to support your band in this moment?
In this moment, I mean, always, let's see, the best way. Well, I was going to say, like, buy a bunch of merch on Bandcamp, because that's where, like, I actually get money and stuff. Right. But I'm about to be walking for like 4 or 5 months. I'm not going to be able to like send people stuff. So I would say, like, save your money for September.
Start saving now.
Set a reminder. Yeah. Put a reminder on your calendar that in September to come to Bandcamp and buy stuff, so I'll ship them to you in September.
Cool.
And also I'll have a new record in September. But yeah, honestly, the best way to support, probably just like follow on Instagram. It's where I'm most active.
Cool.
Honestly, no, I'll tell you the best way to support. The best way to really support, make a viral TikTok with my music.
There you go.
I've got a song that just came out called I Love You. And
I think that will do well on TikTok, man. I swear.
Like, if it gets the right people, if people are just like, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm like, that could be a meme, right?
That could be something. Yeah, totally.
What would it be, though? I don't know what would it. Every time I try to think of an idea for it, it's like just too wholesome and not funny.
Well,
like,
that's. It may not be what you think it's gonna be, but it might be that lane of couples doing it. And if that picks up, that's fine too. Like that, but it's not what you think it is, but it may be something where couples are just doing it back to each other, because it's a big, I'm on couple TikTok because my girlfriend sends me shit, and then I like it because I'm like, oh, that's cute. But then my own algorithm is like, oh, you like couple stuff? I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. And then I'm just have all these couples on my account, on my freaking feed. Nice. Is Sunday's Best releasing the next record? Sunday Best, yeah. Cool. That's right. All right, then. Well, dude, thank you so much for talking with me. Dude, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. Dude, yeah, these are fun. I always, like, people get nervous sometimes, but I'm just like, it's just talking. It's just casual. I don't get nervous. Well, sweet, man. Hopefully I can see you live once this is all done. And, I'll talk to you as well. Yeah, man. Dante Elephante. I'll see you out on the road, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe on a bike. I might be on a bike. A bike tour. Cool. See ya. Peace, man.